So, INFJ what just happened? I don't know when I ghosted you all. I don't know what I did really. I just stopped posting. Got up to 4 subscribers. Not that that's a thing. The thing about INFJs, you don't tend to have a lot of friends. You might have 1 or 2 good ones. And when I'm at 4 subscribers, it's feeling like a lot to manage. So I just waited. Now we're down to 2. I just noticed the other day, or yesterday, we're down to 2. So that's more manageable for me. That's good. That's good. So you two, this is this is what's been going on. I don't know why I just stopped. I did take a bit of time off my other YouTube channel as well back then, a year ago. But a lot's happened since then. A lot's happened. Pretty much 6 weeks ago. Today, maybe tomorrow. Yeah. 6 weeks ago. I had to take the missus into hospital on a Monday morning because she'd lost a little bit of motion on her right side, it seemed. She was hiding it a little bit from me, but I took her in the hospital and turned out she had a brain tumour. And so this channel's about INFJ, born or created. I just want to talk about the INFJ aspects of what I've gone through in the last 6 weeks, which seems like 2 years, but also like it's a week. The first week was weird. We had to go up to a different town, Royal Flying Doctor, all that sort of jazz, flying up to the big hospital with the good doctors. The departments that, neurosurgeons and the good MRI machines, and so it turns out she had the good one. The good one, I say, like it's the bad one, like it's the worst of the worst. What she's got is a glioblastoma, multiforme. I don't know why they have to say it like that. I'll tell you what, these medical words, the medical papers that I've read in this time, they don't need to use all the words they do. I had 50 tabs open, trying to understand all the words they were using so I could read these papers and fully understand them. Like, that's an INFJ thing. You can fully understand stuff. You can read through it and just get the whole gist of what the whole thing means. You can process information. You can read it all. It doesn't all get compartmentalized. It's just sort of sitting there floating. Like on a computer, it's all just sitting in RAM, sitting on your desktop, whatever. It's sitting there waiting to get processed at another stage. Anyway, she's got glioblastoma multiforme, which is they shortened to GBM, which is good because it's a big word, big couple of words, and it's IDH wild type, and we're still waiting for the methylated or unmethylated status of the pathology 6 weeks later, but it got tracked down today, so it has been done. We had to find out what hospital it was at, somewhere down in Brisbane or somewhere, but it's done. So we're waiting to find out if it's the worst of the worst or just the worst of the almost worst. Unmethylated means that the chemo and radiation, or especially the chemo, doesn't really work on it, and tough shit, because that's all there is, chemo and radiation. There's nothing else that they have in the standard of care, SOC, that that they can go to. Anything outside of that is guinea pig status stuff, clinical trials and things. But even though I'm an awesome researcher, at that time with the first cut through, even up until now, up until recently, I haven't had time to do any of my own research, and I've had to have people finding stuff for me, give me the skinny on it, and then if I find something that I feel is something, I'll take a dive into it. No, I haven't really had time. You know, the amount of time once you get the situation like this where you're basically, your life turns upside down, and you know, we've got a business and all that sort of stuff as well. We've got to basically, you know, the first day before the diagnosis even come through, I knew I was selling the business and just doing something different. We were going to be just dealing with it and making every day count. Making every day. One of the terms they come up with pretty soon with these diagnoses is the quality of life. It's all about quality of life now, you know. So, yep. But back to the INFJ stuff, you know, like I get a lot of everyone, you know, whether it be nurses or just people you might tell, friends or brothers or you know, whatever. That's, how are you? You know, how are you? You know, oh, now that she's not around, you know, in earshot, how are you going? You know, I find that quite frustrating. You know, it's like, oh, don't you know how INFJs roll? You know, we sort shit out for other people. We understand what's going on, and it can be overwhelming. Oh, maybe if you don't know if you don't know you're an INFJ, and you understand, you know, all things can get overwhelming. Yeah, it can get overwhelming, but if you can master it, if you can deal with it and not have a heart attack, you know, you can monster through some situations and be the person for all the other people, still knowing that you have to look after yourself so that you can, you know, put your oxygen mask on first, so that in the plane, you know, so that you can help other people. And you can be cold and clinical about it, you know. You can keep all the emotions out, because there's no time for emotions and shit like that. There really is no time for emotions. Or maybe there is. There's been a couple of times early on, you know, like the insurance fellow, we got a good life insurance fellow, and he's sort of a mate as well, you know, like he's a customer, and you know, he's been really good. But the bugger, you know, like when I first went and saw him, and he, you know, he'd gone through a lot of stuff. His son had committed suicide, you know, however many years ago, and when I came and told him it was the anniversary of his son's suicide, but you know, he probably understood more than I did on that, you know, like third day, what the situation was, because he deals with that sort of stuff. And just the, you know, after we had a little meeting and, you know, sort of went through what the situation is, he wanted to give me a hug, and that was a bit hard. I wasn't ready for it, you know. I wasn't ready for someone showing me some some love, and then it happened a few times after that, like some nice lady in the chemist, you sort of explain the situation, and they're just so helpful, and just what gets you, what you're not ready for sometimes is those random acts of kindness from strangers. You can be ready for it with other people sometimes, but yeah. So I'm gonna leave this one here. I'm just I don't get much time. This is the first YouTube video I've made for 6 weeks or more. No more. I haven't even looked at YouTube probably for a month at least. The only things I would have looked up was been a couple of things about some sort of health stuff, some sort of stuff to do with keto and all that sort of stuff, and all the just trying to find out what we can do to try and the doctors have got 20-year-old technology that was probably 20 years old when it got implemented, and doctors are reputation based, and they won't do anything unless all the rest do it. So it's sort of like a mob. It's hard to move a mob. I'm gonna delve into this part at some stage, the psychology of the mob of the medical industry, but that's dangerous. But anyway, I'll come back and do a bit of INFJ talk stuff, and really this series of it is going to be about how I'm handling the missus getting a diagnosis of glioblastoma, multiform, IDH wild type, and let's see if it's methylated or unmethylated. We want methylated. Methylated is a good one. It will respond to the chemo, temozolomide. It will respond somewhat, but there's some other breakthroughs that have just come out yesterday. Immunotherapy and mRNA vaccinations for specialist ones, where it's made as a cocktail to what you've got, which they've been doing in melanoma for years. The head of the Melanoma Institute, Professor Richard Scolyer, he got the same thing. He got the whole bad one a year ago, and they've just started doing all this stuff to him with the immunotherapy. Anyway, it's going to be about how as an INFJ, how you handle situations, life-changing situations. Yeah, now that we're down to just 2 friends, I reckon I can, I don't feel like I'm talking to a crowd now. You know what I mean. Okay, I'm out.